Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa if you are new here, your favorite problematic housewife. So today we're gonna have a little chat. There's some topics kind of that I want to talk about, and we are going to chat while I do my skincare and put on a little bit of makeup and just talk about some things that have been on my mind. So if you want to hear my thoughts on some things, then let's just get right into it. So, a couple of the things that I want to talk about are, one, subscribers kind of shaming and condemning creators when they're not speaking on the topics or people that they feel like should be talked about, and how they decide to call that being in the drama or being a part of the fighting. But when it's somebody that they don't like or a creator that they hate, they're cheering the person on for talking about it. I noticed this a lot, and I kind of got that idea this morning based on somebody's comment that I saw in Cursed Eyes comments. Actually, I'll put the comment up here. And I've had people come to my comments and say stuff like that too. Also, the other topic that I want to touch on is this whole thing surrounding exposing anonymous accounts and whether or not it's warranted and justified, whether or not it's doxing or not, and just kind of the issues and problems that come along with communities where there are anonymous channels and accounts kind of bullying and bothering people, and whether or not it's okay to expose them. So those are the two main things that I want to talk about in this video. And then if there's anything else, but that'll probably take up most of the video. So I'm just going to start with my skincare. If y'all don't know, I am obsessed with K-Beauty, okay? I have a very, step-heavy skincare routine. I have dry skin, and I feel like it's super important to prep my skin as much as possible before putting on any makeup. And I really like treatment essence. Essences are like my best friend when you have dry and dehydrated skin, because those two things are different. Okay, so anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. If there's anything you guys want to know about that I'm using, you can ask me and I'll let you know. So, let's start with subscribers kind of judging and shaming other creators for being in the drama and talking about things, being in the fighting when they're calling out toxic behavior. Sorry, hopefully my kids' cartoons aren't too loud. So I noticed this happen a lot with subscribers. I've seen people do this in my comments, in other creators' comments. Okay, so the comment that kind of gave me the idea for this video was on a video that Cursed Eye did, where she's telling everybody that she's gonna come back, and somebody was, I think, in a Facebook group saying, yeah, I really miss Cursed Eye's content. I had to unsubscribe. I don't watch her anymore because she's been all about the drama and the fighting lately. When I saw that comment, I thought to myself, wait a minute, you didn't say that when... And I thought to myself, wait, you guys weren't saying that when Cursed Eye was talking about Alicia Doherty. You don't consider that being in the drama, though. That's what I don't understand about some people, okay? And people come and say this to my stuff all the time. Somebody just left a comment the other day, oh, you're always fighting with somebody. I really enjoyed your content, but now you're just all about the drama. I don't know if y'all don't know this or not, but newsflash, we are drama channels. Yes, we are drama and commentary channels. We are about the drama. That is what our channel is. But I feel like a lot of subscribers use the term you're in the drama in a negative way when we're not talking about somebody that you want us to be talking about. If a creator feels compelled to talk about toxicity or call out a toxic creator, what is wrong with that? Just because you support the person doesn't mean that you have the right to condemn and kind of be shaming the creator for what they're talking about. It is important to call out toxic creators as drama and commentary channels, right? A lot of us creators feel compelled to talk about a certain person or topic that we feel is toxic, problematic, and needs awareness brought to it. And when we're talking about somebody that everyone dislikes, right? Like, say, Alicia Doherty. If you're dragging Alicia Doherty, you can make 10 videos a week, like Radiant Brit, okay? And everyone's cheering you on. Everyone's telling you how great your content is. Everybody's cheering you on, telling you how great your content is. This is fire. Blah, 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 okay? But then those same people, when you're calling out Dad Challenge Podcast or Anora or Roadhog or any of these toxic people that we have been dealing with in the community, okay? All of a sudden it's, you're all about the drama. I can't watch this anymore. I'm disappointed in you. Why is that? Like, I want to hear you guys' thoughts down below on why that's a thing. Because I'm not going to lie, it gets pretty irritating. Now, I'm not talking, the majority of people don't say that. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many amazing subscribers that watch my videos and comment and support no matter who I'm talking about. And I'm so lucky and appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate my subscribers who have like stuck around, been here, understand me. They understand what I'm doing. They understand why I do things. They understand why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And they understand why I'm doing the things I do. I appreciate you guys so, so much. And I couldn't do it without your support, honestly. I'm just talking about the very select few people who only support a creator based on who they're speaking on. Like the anti-Alicia Doherty people. The creators speak on anybody but Alicia Doherty, they're getting shamed in the comments. If you're talking about anyone else who talks on Alicia Doherty, like Anora and DCP, the subscribers come in and they're like, oh, this is toxic, stop being in the drama, stop being in the fighting. It's hypocritical as hell. The same thing happened in the anti-Jessica Kent community, okay? I saw, if you're talking about Jessica Kent, you can do live after live, all day long, be talking about Jessica Kent, be dragging her to filth. If you talk about DCP, these people have a fit. And I saw the same thing in the anti-Jessica Kent community. People are dragging Jessica Kent for filth all day long, and that's being cheered on, right? But as soon as I call out Tracy and Nicole for their toxic behavior, all of a sudden, everybody has a problem. All of a sudden, it's, you're about the drama, you're stirring the pot, you're toxic, you're bullying, you're attacking people. But these same people do not care if you call out Jessica Kent. And it's interesting to me because sometimes the people that I'm calling out or that other creators are calling out in the community are more toxic than the main person that everyone dislikes, like Jessica Kent and Alicia Doherty, right? The creators that are calling these people out are being more nasty and more toxic than those big creators themselves are. But for some reason, people have a problem with you doing that. And I see that so time and time again in so many different communities and so many different people that I cover, and I find it really interesting. Another thing that I think that subscribers don't understand is when calling out toxic, nasty people and bringing a conversation and awareness to things and some criticism, the goal is not to have drama. The goal is not to start a fight. The goal is not to have an online beef. But unfortunately, certain people, when you criticize them and when you call them out, they turn it into a drama and a fight and a beef because they can't handle the truth. They can't handle the criticism. Like I was saying in my last video, if you haven't seen it, I'll leave it down below. So many of the people that have attacked me and done horrible things to me online were because I gave them criticism. And their response is to start a fight, start a war, dox, threaten, harass, dig into your life, talk about your children, all of this stuff. That is their response. And then, of course, you're going to respond and call them out. Then they start attacking your supporters. So the supporters are getting attacked, and it literally starts this whole online drama and war. But the subscribers should not be blaming me or the creator that is calling them out. Y'all should be blaming the person who can't handle the criticism and the person who started a whole beef because you criticized their content. So let's keep it to what it should be, and that's calling them out. Not calling me out for talking about their toxic behavior and telling me I'm disappointing because I'm doing this, and that. No, I don't accept that. And I find it funny that most of the time, the people who come to the comments and say that are the people who are butthurt that you're talking about DCP or Honora or Roadhog or freaking a creator that they like that drags Alicia Doherty or Jessica Kent or Katie Joy, or whoever the freaking hated influencer is in that community. That's when the subscriber gets butthurt because you're calling out their favorite. And they want to shame you for bringing awareness to what their favorite creator has been doing around the community. We see you. We see you. We see what you're doing. Anyways, I find that very interesting. Okay, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is, this is controversial, anonymous accounts, okay? Now, if you have an anonymous account, right, and their identity is not known on YouTube, right, and you go and expose their identity on YouTube, is that doxing? I think in some instances, yeah, it could be considered doxing. I think it's really tricky because some people have a whole other life online, like Jughead did, where she had a TikTok with 1,600 followers, with her full name on it. She just didn't use that name and that account on YouTube. Some could call it doxing, some don't. It's really a matter of opinion, honestly. But here comes the issue with anonymous accounts. I think that everyone has a right to be anonymous, generally speaking. And generally speaking, doxing is wrong. Just by itself, without any other conversation around it. No one wants to be doxed. No one wants to be exposed on the internet, right? My thing is, at what point should an anonymous account be exposed in a community? And I'm very interested to hear you guys' thoughts about this. So please feel free to let me know down below. Whether or not you agree with me, it's fine. I just want to have a conversation. No one needs to be nasty. No one needs to talk shit. We're just having a conversation because I think everybody is going to feel a little bit differently about it. Because if you're an anonymous account, obviously you don't want to be exposed. You're anonymous for a reason. But based on your behavior in the community, is there ever a point where the account should be exposed? In my opinion, I feel yes. That's just my opinion, especially after dealing with, if you asked me that a few months ago, maybe my answer would have been different because, you know, as you guys know, I used to be a troll. I used to go after toxic bullies, never innocent people, and I would take things too far sometimes. But at the same time, sometimes in very extreme situations, there is no other way to deal with people like that because they're doxing, bullying, harassing, posting children, posting addresses, houses, now blackmailing people, okay? Using people's kids' mental health and trauma against them, all behind an anonymous account. Why should that person get to keep their privacy? Why should that person get to stay anonymous while they are exposing all of these other people online with their personal stuff, Why does popcorn get to stay anonymous? In my opinion, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. Now, you can say doxing, if I doxed popcorn, that would be wrong. But to me, it's more wrong to allow popcorn to keep doing this to people with an anonymous account. And that's just how I feel about it. And everybody's going to feel differently. And that's okay. Like, I wish we could have conversations on YouTube without it turning into this. I don't want it to be a war. I don't want it to be where we're exposing each other and doxing each other. I don't want that. But unfortunately, with these people, this is their response to being criticized. This is their response to being talked about on YouTube. You talk about their content or something they're saying and they're doing, they dox you, threaten you, harass you, and all of this stuff. It's insanity. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with that. They shouldn't. And everyone should know who they are if they're doing those things. And that's my opinion. You guys, again, can feel differently about it, and I respect your opinion on it. I truly do. I don't think that anonymous accounts should be able to remain anonymous if they are causing actual harm. If they are causing actual harm in a community and actually hurting people, why should they be allowed to have their privacy? Why should they be allowed to remain anonymous? Because I think the people who are being attacked by them have a right to know who they are. I think the entire community has a right to know who they are. I feel like if it's in the best interest of the public for this person to be exposed, I think that is an exception. I think that that is an exception to the rule. And I want to know what you guys think about that. Because there are some people who stand really firm in their beliefs and they're like, no, if you do anything even remotely similar to what these people are doing, you're just as bad, you're a hypocrite. And I understand that, okay? Because one of the issues with dealing with people like this is they will poke and poke and poke and poke, right? They will do horrible things to you. They will come after your family, your kids, your life. And then the second that you do anything in retaliation or defense, even if it's nowhere near as bad, they will then turn and say, whoop, see, these people are just as bad. They're doing it too. They're no better than us. No, that's not true. That is a tactic used by these trolls to make people feel like they're being hypocritical, to make the community turn on them and call them out. They're doing that on purpose to make everyone in our community turn on each other and be like, well, now we have to call this person out because Roadhog and crew said that they're a doxer. But let's ask ourselves, do we care? Do we care? Honestly, guys, why does anybody care what Roadhog and his people say about us? We shouldn't. In my opinion, when they try to deflect and finger point and shift blame onto any of us for fighting back and defending ourselves, we as a community should stand up together and say, no, that's not going to work. It's not the same. Nice try. Nice try with the deflection. We're going to keep talking about what you're doing. All of us are responding and handling our business in our way based on what you have done to us. You're not going to say that we're the same. Obviously, there's lines that shouldn't be crossed. And I think everyone can agree that children shouldn't be used or attacked or doxxed or anything like that. But exposing an anonymous account that is really hurting people, not just talking shit, not just petty drama, but actually hurting people and affecting people's real lives and mental health, I think it's a public service to expose them to the entire community and let us all know who it is that is terrorizing our community and who it is that is hurting our people in our community. And that's just how I feel about it. And I really wish that people would kind of get a backbone almost and not care what Roadhog says. Who gives a fuck if he calls us all doxers? Do we really care? Why do we care what any of them think about us? We shouldn't. the community should stand together and support each other in these kind of situations, even if we don't necessarily like each other all the time. I think we can all agree at this point that Roadhog and his community of trolls is toxic, dangerous, and a problem for all of us. Whether we like each other, whether we're best friends, whether we're braiding each other's hair or not. Okay? And I think it is important for people to stand together as a community and not let them deflect, not let them shift blame, not let them get us to destroy each other and fight with each other. I think that's important. And I really wish that more people would realize that, because we're fighting these people as a community. I'm not saying it's some movement or some like freaking sisterhood or whatever they like to call it. But at the end of the day, those of us that are a part of this community are dealing with this together as a community. And letting Roadhog infiltrate everybody's mind into saying, well, yeah, maybe this person, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we should do that. I really don't. I think it hurts the community in the end. I think in the end, it hurts the community when people are so overly concerned with what Roadhog and his group think, and people feel like they need to start condemning each other in our community to appease Roadhog, because at the end of the day, that's what is happening. What Roadhog and his crew are trying to do. They're trying to cause a rift and split us apart in the community and feel like we need to start calling out each other and all this stuff, which I understand to a certain extent, right? I'm not saying that we should just let everyone in the community just while out and do whatever they want and, you know, attack children and all of this stuff. But I do think sometimes what happens is people feel pressured into calling things out by the other side because they don't want to be seen as a hypocrite. I'm going to give the example of Chicago and what happened with Chicago and Jenny. I'm not saying that what Chicago did was totally right. I'm also not saying what she did was totally wrong. But I understand where the upset was. But my issue with the Chicago situation with Jenny is that Roadhog used that situation to kind of get Chicago to be called out and, you know, shunned almost, and he just milked that situation. Jenny used that situation to play victim, and that happens sometimes. When you use more extreme tactics, sometimes it does hand the other side a victim card, which I get. I understand that, and it sucks when that does happen. But I feel like, I'm not saying this about everybody, I'm just saying I feel like there was a lot of pressure for people to call out Chicago publicly. And that pressure was coming from Roadhog and the other side, right? And if you really get to the root of it and think about it, the pressure is coming from Roadhog's community because nobody wants to be called a hypocrite and a doxer. So Roadhog is successful in his tactic and manipulation when he causes our community to feel pressure to kind of put one of our own on the chopping block, as so to say, which happened with Chicago. And everybody felt like they had to call her out because nobody wanted Roadhog to say, we're just as bad, we're hypocrites, Jenny's a victim, blah, but at the end of the day, who cares? Why do we care what any of them say? Why do we care? To me, this is not a fight of we're more right and they're wrong, and we don't want them to think that we're in the wrong. They're always going to think that we're in the wrong, no matter what we do. No matter what we do, they're going to say that we're wrong and they're justified in their actions. No matter what. So I just want to remind people and just kind of open the conversation that you don't need to feel pressured to call somebody out. You don't need to feel pressured to speak on something because those nasty people are going to call you a hypocrite. You don't need to feel pressure and be afraid that they're going to call you a doxer. Who gives a shit? If those people don't like me, I'm doing great, okay? We don't want those people to like us. We don't want those people to think we're right or innocent or doing well. No, we want them to leave us alone, go your separate way, go be in your own fucking community. We don't want you here. Get out. Okay? And that's just how I kind of feel about it. I feel like a lot of this is pressure. And Roadhog and his trolls know that. Trolls know how to get in people's heads. Trolls know how to infiltrate and manipulate situations, stir the pot, cause people to start fighting with each other. They're experts at it. They are experts at it. And I feel like if we could stick together as a community for once and stop worrying about ourselves and what they might think of us individually, I think we'd be a lot better off. And that's just my opinion. I do want to know what you think down below. Now, I do want to talk about the flip side to that, because I do recognize and understand that there are issues with this, okay? Because, and I understand where some of the concern is coming from, I think. Y'all can let me know down below if this is how you feel, or you can let me down below if it's not how you feel. Again, we're just having a conversation. I think some of the concern is that when somebody like me, for example, decides that I'm going to be judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to these people, right? I'm calling them out. I'm exposing them. I'm doing what I feel is right. And I'm doing what I feel like they deserve. I understand that that can be a slippery slope and that can be tricky, because then it's like, well, who gets to decide who deserves it? What are the rules? Now, I think everybody's rules for what is acceptable to, I don't know, push the boundaries a little bit, push the limits a little bit, step on the line, but not cross the line. That makes sense. The gray area of it all, because I love the gray area, okay? I live in the gray area. The gray area is my happy place. I'm not a black and white person. I never have been. And some people are black and white, and they're like, nope, no matter what, I feel this way. There's no swaying my opinion. There's no situation that's going to change how I feel. I'm not like that. I'm more of a situational type of person, okay? And I get really irritated when people compare apples to oranges and call it hypocrisy, because I feel like that happens a lot. And again, like we were just talking about, the other side is great at doing that. They are experts at it, okay? Let's just throw up an example, okay? Somebody will find a license plate, like what happened to be to you. They sought out her husband's vlog channel for 10 subscribers. Watch till the end of the video where a 0.2-second license plate was shown. They took that license plate, looked up all of B's information, completely fully doxed her multiple times, threatened her, contacted her husband, okay? And they did all of that over a disagreement about Alicia Doherty. B didn't threaten them. B didn't come after their kids or their family or any of that. Okay? So you take that situation and then take me finding Jughead's TikTok with 1,600 followers with her full name and showing that on YouTube. They don't compare. You can't say that I'm a hypocrite for being against what happened to B, right? Because of what I did to Jughead. It's not the same, okay? It's not the same. And again, the deflection, the finger pointing, the blame shifting. We cannot let them do that. You have to stand firm. They are not going to sway me. I know that what I did is not the same as what they did to be to you. I don't give a fuck what they say. It's not the same. It will never be the same. Ever. It's completely different. So again, that's that comparing apples to oranges and calling it hypocrisy. So if you support me, you're a hypocrite because you think what happened to be is wrong. That's how they get in your head and get you to be manipulated into being pressured and being pressured into being like, yeah, you're wrong. I don't support, like, you know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. It's just something to think about. Anyway, like I was saying, on the flip side to that, it can be tricky because who gets to decide who deserves it? I think it's subjective. what I might think is deserving of their anonymous account being exposed, what I think is a public service to the community, could be completely different to the next person. And that's okay. We don't have to agree on it. We don't. But I know what I'm doing is right, but I do understand how that is opening doors to maybe other people feeling like they have a right to expose anonymous accounts, dox people, and come after people because they're like, well, I feel like they deserve it, even though they just called me an asshole. I personally feel like they deserve it. So I am not unaware of the fact that this can cause issues in a community. I understand that. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, I feel like this is what's needed and it's what's necessary. And I'm willing to take the risk to get justice and go after these people for what they've done to our community. I know that there's downsides to it. I know that there's going to be people who don't like it. I know that it might open doors for other people to do nasty things, but people are already doing nasty things before I got involved. I was gone for 2 months and people were being harassed and threatened and doxxed. I didn't do anything about this for months. I tried to ignore it. I tried to just call it out as a commentary channel. Nothing worked. My last resort option is doing what I'm doing to them. And anyone who doesn't support it, I get it. But anyway, I just wanted to have this conversation because I know that there's valid concerns. Everybody has a valid opinion. And I just kind of wanted to open the conversation and hear what all of you think. Because I know that there's downsides to what I'm doing. And it's happened. It happens. I'm going to give you an example. Another one, we're going to talk about Order 66 for a minute because this is kind of an example of how things can go south and get crazy really fast if it's not kept in check, okay? My husband originally started Order 66, the troll group, to protect his daughter because trolls, anonymous trolls, were making accounts of his daughter that were really disturbing. Just really... Hi, Gia. They were making accounts that were really disturbing about his daughter, okay? So Dean found people that were willing to help him find out who these people are and essentially dox them and expose them for what they did. Because in his mind, in Dean's mind, he's like, you don't get to do this to my kid and stay anonymous, which I totally understand. I don't think they should have been able to stay anonymous either. But what happens is, unfortunately, when you have trolls and you open the door for, oh, we know how to do this, like we know how to find people, it can get out of control really quickly. And people who may not deserve it or maybe the punishment doesn't fit the crime can end up happening in the community. And people who maybe shouldn't be doxxed and who maybe shouldn't be attacked, the trolls go crazy. You know, you can't control trolls. That's the problem too. They just do whatever the hell they want and they can get out of control real fast, which is why I don't use trolls, which is another thing. I don't use trolls to do things for me. I do things myself. I get sent things for sure, which I appreciate because it helps me so much. And I will never say who sends me what, but I don't have trolls going out and doing things for me because that can get really nasty really quick because they don't listen. You can't control an actual troll, dude. You can't. Anyways, Giovanna's getting fussy. This video's long enough. I just wanted to kind of chat with you and talk about some things that were on my mind. So I am so interested to hear what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.